comic books, video games, all sorts of things, but especially Doctor Who.
Yeah! Who's a special guy who's wearing his TARDIS tie today?
TARDIS tie! Right there.
That is awesome. Well, I hope you've had a great FanExpo so far. It is about to get so... Well, thank you very much for coming out tonight, for waiting in line and being here. This is going to be a really, really cool shared experience for all of us. And let's get right to it. Obviously, you're all big Whovians, and obviously these two actors that we're going to bring out have a ton of amazing roles between them. But of course...
Is your mic cutting out constantly?
Is it a little bit?
Maybe.
Well, why don't we just bring out the 11th Doctor and Rory Williams, please?
Soggy table.
That's your water.
Hello.
What's happening? The crowd.
Thank you for the welcome.
So we're going to start audience questions because FanExpo is all about the fans. So AJ and I are going to be out in the crowd taking your questions, so no need to line up. You just think of your question and toss your hand up. But first, before we do that, going back to the 11th hour, going back to 2010, obviously you guys have made TV history together now, but can you take us back to your first few experiences together with Karen, maybe the first read-through? What was it like when you first met?
Well, we knew each other before.
We're going to play every day for 6 months.
Yeah.
Whoa, the lights have gone out.
Uh-oh, it's got sexy in it.
Should we hold hands?
We did a play called Swimming with Sharks, and we had this one scene at the top, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was really fun.
And we used to go and just drink loads of beer in that weird pub after
The
work.
Nell Gwyn.
Yeah, we both got quite fat.
Yeah, we did. We were. I was quite...
That's one of the oldest pubs in London, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
My friend Sinead works there.
Oh, well, yeah, good old Sinead. So then we knew each other, but so Arthur then auditioned.
Yeah, well, because you started.
Yeah.
I found out that Matt had got the job when I was at my granddad's house watching the news, as you are, and then saw your little face pop up on television. Because they announced it on the news saying the new Doctor. And I text you saying I want a pencil case with your face on, which I still don't have.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
text. And then they were talking about Roy Pond. And they were like, oh, Arthur Darwin's coming. I was like, yeah, pick that guy. And we did an audition together, didn't we?
Yeah, and I auditioned with Matt,
Me.
and then we got a car back together where you were like, you got it, man, you got the job.
Yeah, and we got drunk in the car, didn't we? Apparently all we do is drink beer.
This is pure gin.
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear for about 6 weeks.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
it
that long?
between 4 and 6 weeks? And I was broke, and I was doing my tax at my parents' house, like surrounded by receipts on the floor, kind of being quite depressed. And then it was the only time I've got a job, and I like screamed the house down.
It's one of those jobs that you get and you don't quite know how to compute. And then me, Karen and Arthur, we just sort of had to stick together really because it was such a strange moment, and David and Julie and Russell were so popular, and so, me, Steve and Karen and Arthur were like a new breed.
I think the pressure on you was a lot more than on us.
Deep panic. Deep panic. And also, everyone hated me before I'd even done anything. They were like, he's 36, who's this guy? And then, so that was more deep private panic.
Do you remember that when we watched the rough cut?
I do.
Episode 1.
Horrendous. We watched it in the producer's house, Beth, and well, it wasn't horrendous. It was
It was just like we watched it like this.
yeah. We didn't really know what to do.
Because you film it and you don't think that people are going to watch it. You just do it and try and make it truthful or funny or both, hopefully.
Yeah.
which you do every day.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that was it. That was a long answer, wasn't it?
But
when you took this job, I mean, you had to expect that this was the kind of reception that you would get going forward with it being such an
I didn't know it
iconic
was this
series.
reception.
No?
When we made the first season of, which was season 5, they didn't even know if they were going to continue to make Doctor Who. So we made the season, the episode went out, the ratings did well. Then they recommissioned it. But you know, at that time it wasn't like a, you know, and it's unthinkable really that they want to make Doctor Who now. Idiots. So yeah, it was bizarre. It was wonderful though. It was. I look back on those times with great fondness.
It's nice to be able to reminisce as well. Like most jobs you do, and then you go, oh God, we're going to stay in touch forever. We're best friends, and you never see anyone ever again. And you forget about it. You don't really think about it until it kind of pops up on a repeat on BBC Two.
Yeah.
And then we get to kind of talk about it with you guys. It's just bizarre. It's the most humbling. Like this, I find this is really humbling.
It's like massively weird group therapy.
We should have a couch up here, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to go into the audience to get some questions, but while we do that, I was wondering if you could tell us what you got up to last night, because you were in front of a different big crowd last night, right?
It went down last night.
Last night was.
Tell it, Arthur.
It was great. What are you telling? Because you met.
Well, we met. But anyway, I'll cut a long story short. But to cut a long story short, we danced on stage with Arcade Fire last night.
We turned into you guys, and then we met them afterwards and tried not to be embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure how successful we were.
Yeah, because we love Arcade Fire, like we love Arcade Fire, and they're Canadian, so. I feel like I've got to sit back so we don't not include this lovely part.
Yeah. And also, can you do a screen? Oh. Yeah. Wow. The table!
Bloody tables! But then what do we do with the water?
Spirit, looks like.
Oh, feng shui, it's all wrong, isn't it? I was making love to the table.
Just try not to spill the water.
Anyway, so that's where I came from, which is really good. Also, I was saying this yesterday, do you not feel, it feels like we're doing one of those like, come and welcome to my life. Matt and Arthur, self-help.
Inside the empty studio.
Sorry, anyway, we're rambling. Questions?
Yeah, I got someone named Amelia here, so I think we have to go right here to your right, Matt. Down the aisle, close to you, front and center here.
Ah, gotcha. Hi.
Hi, how are you? That's not my question.
You're welcome.
How did you guys get into acting in the first place?
That's a good question. Well, I was a footballer, which you crazy animals call soccer. And I had a really wonderful teacher called Jerry Hardingham, who sort of took a punt on me and thought I should be an actor and encouraged me to join this thing called the National Youth Theatre, which I did. And then here I am, standing before you. How did you get into it?
My parents are creative people.
They are.
My mum's a puppeteer and my dad is a musician, so I kind of grew up in an arty household. And
You should check out Playdays, actually.
yeah, my mum did this thing called the Y-Bird on Playdays, which you won't know.
If you're British, it's sort of a
It's huge.
early cartoon.
And then I went to youth theatre and I went to drama school.
He went to
Very posh drama school.
Royal Academy of Dramatic Art.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Moving on.
Right over here. Hey guys, do you want to stand up, Kat? Hey, this is Kat. She's got a question right here.
Hey, Kat.
Hello. Just, hey.
Hi!
Hi there. I just wanted to ask, what was the best piece of life advice you've ever received, and from who?
Blimey.
The best piece of what?
Like,
Hey, I tell you this.
Life advice.
Life advice. My dad, who is a smart old fish, always says to me, and it's fitting for a room such as ours, time is an imposition on one's dignity, so never let it be your ruler. Yeah. David Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Don't look at me like that. Yes, I can. Time is an imposition on one's dignity. I added a bit about never let it be your ruler, but I thought we needed a punchline, so...
No way I can top that.
You've probably got some, like, life advice about a stuffed owl or something. Arthur loves taxidermy. It's a weird thing to like.
It's a weird thing to like.
Yeah, it is.
What?
You want to go on a date with Arthur?
Tom Courtney, who is a hero of mine, an actor, and he said, I was doing a job with him. This is just the only piece of advice that I can remember ever being given. It's not necessarily good. And I was doing a job with him, and he invited me into his trailer. And he said, speak louder. Don't listen to all the young actors mumbling all their lines. Just speak up. Ever since then, I've shouted all mine. Solid, still work.
Solid Courtney advice.
Yeah.
All right, we got Brendan over here to stage. Well, over here. There
Brendan, my man! Cool hair!
Oh, thanks, man. That actually means a lot coming from you.
I used to have cool hair.
I used still to be.
Oh, I very much.
Anyway, though, Peter Capaldi was obviously on Doctor Who before, but never quite in the role as the role that you passed on to him. And I was wondering, what advice did you give him in terms of what to expect?
I gave him one piece of advice, and it was one line, and I said, listen to no one. Honestly, that's the one word because this job, it has to be your own invention, and there are so many stages, the costume, the TARDIS, the how you're going to play it, and what you're going to do, and everyone has an opinion. There's such a machine behind it as well, so yeah, that's my piece of advice to the Capaldi. Who I love. He's a cool man. Oh, I don't love him too much, I'm right here. Oh, you're mean, I'm not even dead yet. I was in the last episode. Yeah, next one.
I'm almost right in the middle here with Sophia. Almost right in the middle. Hello. Hey. Yes.
Hey.
Sophia.
So, which was the most fun episode to film and why?
Dark Train. It's hard to put it into any kind of order because they were all so much fun. Apart from
The Pandora opens when it was so cold.
I didn't mind that because it was good.
Yeah, it was a crack. Hey, come on. I think Croatia was hard to do.
Croatia was amazing.
When we made Vincent and the Doctor and Vampires in Venice, they were pretty fun.
That was really, really fun. It was the first time we'd all been. It was like something just happened down there. It was the first time we'd all been. It was like being on holiday together.
It was.
I mean, we took over this little town in Croatia, which was this beautiful town, but it was off season, so nothing was open apart from this pizza place called Merkek Pizza, which we ate in every night.
Yeah.
And just had a bit of a jolly.
Yeah, we did. And there were great people in that.
Yeah.
The guy who played Vincent was an absolute hero. He's a cool dude, Tony Cronin.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, yeah. And Helen's divine, and you know.
Helen's divine. She's divine.
There was just good people in that. Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
But they were all so much fun. And we had Too Confidential back then, which was good fun, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Barrett, yeah, it was great. It's embarrassing myself a lot watching that, making that.
Okay, I'm over here on the right between Jamie and Ryan.
Hi,
I thought
guys.
the costumes were great. So Ryan, what's your first question?
Do you think bow ties are actually cool?
Let me ask you the real question. Do you think bow ties are actually cool?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently not.
Alright, and
You
Jamie.
did as a doctor as well.
Jamie, go for it.
What's your favorite companion besides Amy?
Well,
Good question.
here's the thing. I like them all both equally more than each other. I really do. You know, I look at one and I think, I wish you were the other one. No, it's very hard. That's a very hard question because when you play the doctor and you have a companion, it's such a art sort of imitates life and life informs art, and you become very close. But me, Karen and Arthur had a very special journey together. But I love Jenna too. Don't ask me that question. It's all 5-year-old. No, that was a good question. Put people on the spot in life. It's a good quality to have.
Right in the middle here, gentlemen, this is Calvin.
Hi, you guys.
Hello.
Doctor Who is so rich in sci-fi history. My question to the two of you is, if you had to pick one iconic role in sci-fi outside of the BBC, what would you pick and why?
Blimey.
What, to play or that we like?
To play.
Science fiction. Wow, that's a good question. Ooh. You're going to come up with something good, I know you are.
Thanks.
What is that? Terminator. Yeah, you never know. They're gonna shoot me.
I'd like to play Jabba the Hutt. You'd have to put on a bit of weight.
You'd be a good Jabba the Hutt.
I would absolutely love it. I went to I'm quite a big Star Wars fan, and just relating to the crowd. And I went to Paris the other week for a week, and there was a Star Wars, it's a really boring story, it was a Star Wars exhibition, and I walked. I thought it was like in the middle of Paris, but I have a very bad sense of direction. I walked for 3 hours in the blazing heat, and got to this like car park. Oh, it's horrible, but then got to see Jabba the Hutt's eyes, which was kind of amazing. And just that's all they have left of him, it's just these eyes.
Why are they in Paris? Also, why is there no context to Jabba the Hutt being in Paris?
I don't know. That's just the story.
Yeah, I know. Who would I play? I don't know. Can I come back to and think about that one? Because I don't want to get it wrong. And I need to think about good science fiction characters. I've got to go back. I want to go back in the day, like someone old, someone weird, someone cool. Sounds like a doctor, but
You already played the best one.
yeah.
Alright, we got Hannah on the floor way over here.
Yes, the left side's finally getting some time.
Now this question is to both of you. What was your favorite line to say on Doctor Who?
Rory! Rory!
The number of times I had to say doctor was just really...
Me and Kaz did. Okay,
Doctor?
Let's do the whole prefer. You do one and I'll do one. Me and Kaz did this other day. Go.
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor!
Doctor!
Doctor.
Doctor!
Doctor. He said that we could record these and we wouldn't have to turn up to work and just
Like in some episodes you have like 20.
Yeah.
Arthur always used to like doing this. He'd go, "That's the doctor."
I never used it. I think I tried to make it my catchphrase. That's the doctor. Yeah.
I like saying Geronimo, which was... And I was never meant to say it more than once. I just started adding it in. And then it stuck. I only said it in that regeneration episode, and then I stuck it in Beast Below, and from then on we just were like, it's pretty weird.
I thought I was shut up Hitler. That was good.
That was good.
That's what you open the script and go, thanks.
Although someone showed me a line today that I had to write on a poster saying, if you, oh no, what was it? Christ, I forgot. Chocolate for breakfast. If you don't feel sick by mid-morning, then something's wrong. Something like that. It was funny in my head.
Right in the middle here, fellas at the back. Right down in the middle at the back. Hey!
Hello!
I've got Isabel and Miranda. They just met today. They're already best friends. They have one question, but they both want to ask it together.
Go!
We're huge fans of Karen and the Babes. I know Karen's not here, but can you get us some? Yeah.
I see a little silhouette Scaramouche, Scaramouche, can we do the Van Down Go? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo, 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 let it go. He's the poor boy, nobody loves him. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. He's learning his life and his monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, we'll let it go. It's the rock roll, we'll not let you go. It's the rock roll, we'll not let you go. It's the rock roll, we'll let you go. We'll let you go, we'll let you go. No, 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 no. Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Because as the cattle pepper's high for me, for him, for him.
Also, she is the babe.
Oh no, we're the
No, we're the babes. I was thinking of bringing just a mop with a plate on it. That's Karen. Thanks for making us do that.
Way on your right, down the aisle, we've got Trinity with her question.
Hi, wow, this is really cool. I was just wondering, if you were to go to FanExpo, who would you dress up as? And not just from Doctor Who, from anything.
Ooh, good question.
Great question.
I've seen some
dress up
actors, winners. I saw a family today who looked really cool, and the mum and dad were really dressed up, and the kids had like pink hair and stuff. And he was just this blue thing, and then she had this like whole costume on. I mean, I'm not being very specific as to who it is, but I dress up as the strange blue gentleman that I saw. Yeah, that person as well.
Maybe dress up. I just met Hulk Hogan.
He was really
This is a
excited.
pretty big deal. And maybe now I think about it, I'd maybe dress up as him.
Yeah, nice. You make a good Hulk Hogan.
Thanks, man.
Hey guys, so I'm at the back here, and this is Devin, who's dressed up right straight ahead, almost straight ahead of you. There you go.
This light, this light is blinding.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, I'm just saying if you can't. If you're not looking.
This is Devin. He's got an awesome Tom Baker costume on. Hey, Devin.
Hi, Tom Baker.
Okay, so before I say my question, I'd like to tell you that I am a big fan of your show, and I watch all of your era, and they are all great episodes.
Yes!
What was my first thought when I heard I was going to get the role? When did David Letterman become 6? Precocious young soul. Fabulous. My first thought was, oh God, don't hate me world. And then I sort of panicked inwardly.
You weren't allowed to tell anyone, were you?
No, I knew for like 3 months. And I couldn't say a word, so I told my parents, and then I told my sister, and I told my best friend, because we were watching Doctor Who one day on the telly, or it was on, and he knew I'd been for the audition, Mrs. Bondi. We were in my flat, and I just sort of smiled, and he looked at me, he just kept looking at me, he was like, you've got that part, haven't you? And I was like, no. He was like, yeah, you have. I was like, no, I haven't. And then that was quite a nice moment. Oh no, but you just sort of, gosh, I don't know, you sort of panic a bit. I think when any actor gets a job, they go, oh my God, I've got a job, what am I going to do? I've got a job, I've got to work, I've got to be creative.
So much of it is getting to that moment where you go, hey, here's the job. And then it's that moment afterwards, which is kind of, it's a killer actually at times, because you go, oh, I've actually got to do this now. It's quite a lot of work.
And then, what if I'm off? Yeah. And David was on the telly still, so I'd meet people in the pub and stuff, and they'd be like, don't ruin Doctor Who. Yeah. And I'd be like, yeah, cheers. Sorry to the kids in your rooms, don't do that. Don't blaspheme or swear or drink until you're 19 in Canada. 19 here. That's cool. Yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling.
Well, I've got Jaden with me to your extreme right. Like right by the stage. All right.
Hi guys. Hello.
Okay, Jaden, go for it.
Okay, so I'm like huge fans of both of you. So my question is, who was your favorite person working with on Doctor Who?
Apart from each other.
Yeah.
Or K-Face.
Playboy.
Big Dylan.
The list of appalling nicknames in Africa. Edit. No, so yeah, she can't defend herself.
I mean, we were very lucky because there's so many wonderful actors that come to the show. So we had Tony Curran, who we mentioned, and Michael Gambon in A Christmas Carol was brilliant. James Corden was great as Craig Owens, he was a cool guy. And we were just so lucky. But I think ultimately we were sort of spoiled with each other.
Yeah. Like Alex as well.
Alex Kingston, there he is. The most sensational flirt on the planet.
No one. With everyone.
Even with herself in the mirror. It's incredible to witness. Questions?
Yeah.
Betty, if you're not ready, I got one more right here with Grace.
Go for it.
Here we go.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, if you could live in any fictional world from like a book or a TV show, what world would you live in?
Narnia. I was obsessed with an Irish order. I had a map of Narnia on my wall. I used to pray that I dream that I was in Narnia.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's a really good
Totally just wanted to be Mr. Tongueless.
I've always been into like the 50s and stuff. I'd sort of like to hang out with Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe and all that. That's not as good as Narnia. That's not a fictional world, is it? Okay, let me think.
Kind of is now. Hollywood is okay. It's not.
I mean, I've always said, can we include sort of like Doctor Who-esque time travel in it? I'd get the TARDIS, I'd pick up Sinatra and Monroe, take them back, check out some dinosaurs, go back to the 50s, watch a bit of jazz with them both, get Sinatra to sing, and then go and watch England win the World Cup.
Right.
Yeah, that is what I've really thought about it.
I'm still in the back here, almost down the middle, basically down the middle, right at the back. This is Renata. Hey, Renata.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Good to meet you, Miss on the show. I know, Matt, you had fish fingers and custard. I don't know if it's actually good. And Arthur, have you tried it and would you agree?
Yeah. Fish fingers and custard?
I never tried it.
Really? God, no, yeah, it's lovely. Do you know, I met a family today who eat it every time Doctor Who's on. And look, genuinely, I was like, yes, and no, it's fine, it's good. If it was here now, I'd have a fish fingers and custard. Quite happily. Yeah. Have you tried it?
Guilty, I haven't.
Well,
I
next
will.
weekend when Doctor Who's on, eat fish custard. Just testing notes. Paying attention. What's the episode called this week? Again, good. So you are definitely fans.
And we've got a fan right here. I didn't move too far from where I was. We got Georgia with me.
Hi, so we've had historical figures like Winston Churchill and Vincent Van Gogh on the show. Who else would you have liked to have seen as like a historical figure on the show?
Like Rasputin. Henry VIII.
Henry VIII would be quite fun, wouldn't it? And all his mad wives, and he was like, maybe they could be aliens or something, and that's why he's chopping their heads off. Because he's the only one that understands that all women are aliens. At least to me, I mean.
That's amazing, that's a good answer.
Yeah, well, thanks. Cheers. It's, that's what I'm here.
Yeah, want to tell you?
Yeah, I'm over here on the left, on your left side, fellas.
Yes!
Hello, hello. The left's getting some love.
Geronimo.
Hi guys, I'm Maggie. So, my question is, what are your current phone ringtones?
My phone's on. My phone's
You
dead.
absolute lunatic. I know there's someone in the audience.
I used all my latest battery on taking pictures of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. I think mine's just really boring.
Mine's just ring ring.
Ring me. Has anyone in the audience got my phone number? Someone has. Someone has.
07.
It's not ringing. No, it's not ringing. It's not ringing. Still don't think it's ringing.
I think there's some serious roaming charges.
Yeah.
on that thing.
Well, I could just... Here we go. Here we go. Oh no, it's just vibrating. Thanks. Thanks, that...
It's nice.
Bye.
So there you go. We got Denise with me right here. Just move back a little ways.
Hi, my question is, do you have a favorite villain, or is there a villain from a different era you would have liked to interact with?
Yes and yes.
Favourite what?
Favourite villain is a villain from a different era you'd like to interact with. I know the answer to that.
Okay.
Go.
The Silence.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Good answer.
I just really like them. I like the way they move. I like Marnix.
Marnix is great.
Marnix is amazing. Marnix was the guy who played the big silent.
Yeah, and he was Judge, you know, so
He's really great.
just the silence. And,
He was brilliant.
he was a cool guy. Mine is The Weeping Angels are my favourite. And I sort of wish I'd got a bit of time with the Master. But I have a feeling that actually I'm going to come back as the Master, and it was all a hoax the whole time.
Have you signed the contract for that?
No. I'm pitching it to Stephen. We're going to see what he thinks. Right here. Thanks, Dad. Bit of man time, you see, that's what I want.
Are you with someone?
Yeah, I'm over on your left again, fellas. And I've got Caleb, who is 9 and who is dressed as Weeping Angel.
Oh, wow. Where are you, Caleb?
Oh,
hi, buddy.
How hard is it to remember all your lines?
Well, how hard is it to remember all the lines?
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't too bad. For Matt, I honestly have no idea how to do it. Seriously. I know you're here, so I'm not just sucking up to you, but I was every day just overwhelmingly impressed by how brilliant. But not only because you don't just have to know the lines, you have to know them well enough to be quite free with them, and to be able to play with it, and you had like 7 pages to learn a day. And
Yeah.
it was, you know, it was intense.
Thanks, mate. There's no way around it. It's like homework. It's like every night you go home and you've got to do your homework, and I just get a sheet of paper and go, and just do it, and it would take ages, and you sort of, yeah.
It's slightly soul destroying, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah. But then you remember like you're like going and you're facing like the Dalek and stuff, so it's fine. But yeah, it's like this job is a lot of work. It's all encompassing. I know Peter feels it now. It's like, whoa, it's just huge. And talking to David and just other doctors about it, they'll go, that was the great challenge. Is the line there?
They're not easy lines as well.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of them you go,
yeah, it's like there's a quantum star and there's a perception filter coming around, and you know, it's like all this mad stuff. And but you know what, right? What I would do is I'd go. So let's say, for instance, there's a perception filter and there's a pink elephant going to walk in the room. And if we don't get the pink elephant out, then the perception filter is going to dissipate and time is going to collapse. So then I would go, right, I'm going to walk down the shops, I'm going to buy myself a banana, I'm going to put my banana in my cereal, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have a rest. And so you would apply the logic of the second part to the mad sciencey part, and hopefully it would appear to make sense. Good question.
All right, we got Jeff with me, way at the back here.
Hey, Jeff.
I just want to know, you guys do cons all the time. What's the best question you've ever gotten? What's the worst?
that was the best one. And the worst. Next question.
So, we are that brutal, seriously, next question. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
ready, Teddy? Yeah, this is Marissa here, and she's wearing a really cool Fez. Nice Fez.
Where are we?
I was just wondering if you think your personalities are at all like your characters?
Our personalities, like our characters. No, the Doctor's way cooler than me, and Rory's way cooler than Arthur.
I found out I'm not very cool, but he's
Arthur
wrong.
is cool, actually. He is cool. But Rory's cooler.
Rory's pretty
In his gilet.
He doesn't know what she is.
It's his little coaty things that he used to wear.
I think you always have to put something of it, you know. Rory's got my face. But you always have to put something of yourself,
Yeah.
in it, especially playing with a character for such a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't, yeah. It's quite a challenge playing something quite close to yourself. I would feel it's always a temptation to
Yeah.
take it away.
I think there are elements of the Doctor in me and the Doctor, but ultimately he's a way cooler person than I am, so it's all him, really.
I always find quite a pressure with, because Rory was ostensibly just the nicest person,
Yeah.
and you know waited 2,000 years for his love. People always look at me with that, like, oh, he's so nice. Yeah, actually, I'm horrible.
Yeah, he is. This is all an act. We hate each other.
All right, we've got Emily with me right back.
Hi, Emily.
This is really cool. Pretty cool. I actually recently just got out of a job that I really hated. So I was wondering, what is the worst job that you've been stuck with?
Oh, good question. On my first day working as a glass collector in a pub called the Rat and Parrot, I knew that would get a laugh from you. Someone was sick. Like, you know in pubs when you walk in and they've got like the carpet before the carpet. So it's the carpet that you wipe your shoes on. So it's like Uber carpet. Someone was sick on the Uber carpet. And I had to clean it up with a dustpan and brush. That was a low point.
That's bad.
Yeah. And I was really keen to sort of make a good impression on the first day.
But you were a glass collector, not a sick collector.
Exactly. And now I think back, I should have gone, you know what? That is not my job.
Yeah. I had a similar story, but it didn't happen to me. It did happen to me. It happened when I was working, but I used to work in a skateboard shop in Birmingham, where I'm from, And we came in one day and someone had pooed on the side of the shop. And and there was a little McDonald's napkin. Just, I won't be too graphic with it, but it was... They weren't very well. We had to, me, Rick and Afro Dave had to pull straws as to who was going to clean it up, and Afro Dave had to clean it up.
So you didn't even clean, that's not a bad thing. You saw some poo, didn't clean it up. Yeah. No one likes that guy, Arthur.
I trained all the McDonald's, but this wasn't necessarily a bad job. I trained all the McDonald's, people who work at McDonald's to do birthday parties. That was quite fun though.
Yeah. I think you'd be quite good at that. Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. We teach them balloon modelling and face painting. And lots of children.
So I'm over on your left again, fellas, with Harry. Over on your left. Yep.
Hi, Harry.
Hello,
Hi.
this is Harry.
Apart from the 11th Doctor, who is your favorite Doctor and why?
I change this answer every time I give it.
Go on. I'm intrigued to know who your favourite Doctor is.
Apart from you?
Yeah, thanks, mate.
So yesterday I said Tom Baker, but I think John Pertwee, but just because he's sort of growing. Yeah, well, I think he's great.
Yeah.
But everyone brings their own. What was that?
Having a heart attack. Finally, it might be a taxidermy after.
But I remember watching Wells and Gummidge as well.
Oh, Wells and Gummidge!
He was great.
Do you know what though? It's brilliant. That's brilliant physical comedy.
Yeah.
In that, he was a great actor.
Yeah. But everyone brought their own
flavour. Mine's Troughton. Yeah, because I love his sort of mad doctory face, and I just think he's a wonderful actor and a wonderful doctor. And Tubular Cybermen is my favourite Doctor Who series. Yeah.
All right, right down front, right here with Joanna.
Hi, Joanna.
Hi, my question's for Arthur. I was just wondering who's better kisser, Matt or Karen?
A lady never tells. I don't know, Matt.
Straight up, Matt. These bad boys. How many times did we kiss? We kissed in dance.
Yeah.
I was always kissing Rory.
Always kissing me. Feeling like this. Yeah. Do something funny, just kiss.
Yeah. Take away from the. No.
No, this is like reading fan fiction. This is not.
This is descending into an 18+
So I went for a drink with a director who I wanted to work with at some point. It was it was a guy who, I just went for a drink with. I just met him the first time. There was a group of people, and my best mate turned up, and Kian. And went, I've just read this stuff on the internet and just read it out in front of everyone, and thinking everyone would laugh, but just didn't really. No one found it funny. It was just a bit inappropriate. And then I made us leave because I was embarrassed. And I've never worked for that director. And I blame Keane.
What's that got to do with kissing?
And fan fiction. I've not read any of this.
Oh, what were they like?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was once bought for a Christmas present, and there's children in the audience, so I won't go into too much detail, but let's just say there is an intergalactic series for people who like people, naked doctors. I've never watched it. I couldn't bring myself to it.
Dr. Screw.
Deeply, deeply disturbing. We should move on before we go masturbate.
Way over on your left, fellas. Way over on the left side. Hello. We've got Hannah here. She's very nice, so she gets a two-part.
Hi there. The first one is for Arthur. You have very before Matt got his hair shaved. So I was wondering, did you just steal the hair and make a wig out of it?
I have no idea what you just said.
Sorry. Did you steal Matt's hair when he shaved it all off?
Yes. Yeah, I've been mentoring after that hair for a very long time. I pilfered it off the cutting room floor. No, I haven't stolen that hair. Go.
The next one is for Matt. When you appeared in Deep Breath, I was just wondering, did you get invited back to the set to film that, or was it filmed during the Christmas special?
Oh, that's a cunning question. Should I say it? Okay, well, you guys think so. No, yeah, we filmed that during the Christmas episode. We knew all along. We filmed it the day I filmed my regeneration. Just before, yeah. So yeah.
Were you wearing a wig?
Yeah. It looks really good, doesn't it, the wig? Yeah, I was wearing a wig. Stephen hated me because I shaved my head. But I had to, because Ryan Gosling asked me to, so I was like, yeah.
You said goodbye to us twice.
What was that?
You said goodbye to us twice.
Oh, I know, yeah. Hey, maybe there's a third. You just never know.
I'm with Victoria right here in Estonia.
Hi, Victoria.
Hello, Matt. I just want to know if there was a moment behind the scenes when you were filming the show that really stood out to you. That's for both of you.
Yeah. Was it stand in a box in the dark? Just grooving.
Grooving, just singing to each other. That's what we used to do just before. Because you're in this little box and just be like...
And then going, where are the TARDIS? There were several times where Matt would turn around to me and just go, this is our job.
And then the screening in New York was that was one of the crowning moments of our time with Doctor Who. We had this amazing screening in New York, and we didn't know that America was into Doctor Who, North America, and Canada. Yeah, and that was a really special. That was amazing. Yeah. Latecomers welcome. Fine. Come on in.
You got one, Teddy?
Yeah, we're over here. What's your name, brother? Taylor, stand up. We're over here all the way on the left.
Hello. Hi.
Because you both are experienced in musical theater, do you guys ever wish there was a Doctor Who musical episode?
There was a plan that we were going to... we were Christian dreams. We were going to write one.
We were going to do one for the DVD extras, and Arthur was going to write the music, because he's a really wonderful musician. He was going to write it, but then it never materialised, did it?
It's bigger on the inside. He's pushing the control.
Yeah, that was it. And what was the Dalek song? There was a really good Dalek, what was it? It was just like stomping, Dalek.
Yeah. Anyway, I couldn't fit it into a story, and then it all just got late.
Yeah, maybe we'll just make it for the internet.
It's quite hard. I watched the Buffy musical episode the other day. Have you seen that? And they've done it so well that I really, when I was thinking about it, I really had it in my mind that it can't be.
I think Doctor Who lends itself to a musical,
Yeah.
because it's the form of it. I think you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, why don't you do it? You see
Yeah.
Make it.
You can take my song if you want.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm with Yusuf right here towards the middle. I actually changed sides to your left. Yusuf. Oh, there we go. Here's Yusuf.
Hey guys, I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we don't just love you as actors on Doctor Who, you guys are brilliant actors in your own right. So I'm just curious, how difficult did you find it breaking away from your Doctor Who characters and not always being typecasted as characters similar to the Doctor or similar to Rory? And do you have any advice for actors who are dealing with typecasting?
It hasn't been an issue. Which is great, and I think it's only an issue if you make it an issue. You see actors who get stuck in their own, but we're both curious people, and thrive on variety and thrive on trying to tell the story in the right way. And you just have to, I don't know, you get lucky with the parts you get offered to an extent, but you also create your own luck a bit. And I think it hasn't been a problem. You just have to stay true to what you do.
Yeah, and take risks. You know, that's why I did a musical. I can't really sing. Go and do a musical. So I think if you can find that diversity and you're brave and you're courageous with your decisions, then hopefully we're at the typehouse. But also, this is a job where you're always, I don't know, I'm finding out anyway. And the doctors that I talked to, the previous doctors, are like. And also, like, when I see David Tennant, I'm like, oh my god, it's Doctor Who. So I think there's a sort of, the history and the legacy of this show is always, and it's quite a nice thing to hold on to. Yeah.
All the way on your left again here, fellas.
Hello.
Hey, this is Molly. She's 12 and she's got an awesome TARDIS song.
Cool.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I love you both.
We love you, Molly.
What was the hardest episode to film?
One Christmas, it was really snowy in Wales, and we were filming over the Christmas period and in a castle.
Which is like a
snow.
big fridge.
And it was a double episode, and it was great. It was just hard.
The Gangers episode.
The Gangers.
Oh, that was cold, man. That was
cold. We had to abandon filming one day because we wouldn't have been able to get out of the location because of the snow.
Yeah, but everyone else stopped filming like a week before, like all of the BBC dramas, and we just kept on.
And there was one scene where we were in a room in this castle, and the TARDIS was meant to fall through the ceiling, and we got in to do the rehearsal, and because it had been so cold, and the lights that we put in there had warmed the room up, the ceiling started falling in, and we had to just abandon filming because the ceiling had fallen in our head.
And also, in Season 5, Episode 7, The Dream Lord, that's a game we play, by the way, it's a weird game, but that was freezing in that village.
Yeah, that was
freezing. We had the ponytail, and then like the camera was tracking down as it was...
I had a ponytail, so I was quite headway.
Yeah, in the episode. Thank you.
Dream Lord was the word.
Paying attention. No one else was paying attention, you see. Well done, my lady on my left, for passing the exam. Yeah, it was just cold.
Generally the weather.
Yeah, the weather was basically, but it didn't matter because it's not too.
Alright, you never guess who I found. Someone named Melody dressed as River Song.
Okay, I've planned this question for months, literally. Doctor Who is a show that brings so much excitement to all its fans, so what scene or sequence were you most looking forward to and excited to film?
In the scripts?
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? Because there's so many.
Sometimes you open the script and go, oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and sometimes the things that look really good on the screen are not always the most fun to film because they take longer. And you know, when you're filming and when you're shooting something, you've got to shoot it from this way, and you've got to get the camera here, and it can be slightly more laborious sometimes. The whale's mouth in The Beast Below was amazing because they built a huge slide. Me and Karen just got to slide down it into this goo, which was, work. So run the ribs. Run the rib. What was that game with the guy with the long hair?
Sorry, this is like an English with Sally and Martina.
Oh, that was so good. The cars at the end. It's irrelevant to everyone in Canada.
But
Check out Funhouse online.
Pat Sharp.
Oh, classic. Classic Pat
I met Melanie and Martina.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool. Were they old?
They were older.
Yeah.
AJ, if you don't have I'm with her on the left here, guys, at the front, on the very left at the very front. And this is Matea, the young lady who passed the episode exam. So, question.
Hi.
Hi guys, I'm originally from the UK and I've been in Canada for 8 years, but watching Doctor Who has helped me feel more connected to my British heritage, so thank you so much for making an amazing show. So my question is one for Arthur, one for Matt. I was wondering, Arthur, what it was like working with David Tennant on Broadchurch, and Matt, I wanted to ask you what it was like working with Ian Second, who plays Leo Fitz on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., in the Ryan Gosling movie.
Wow, that's quite good. Really well thought through.
Yeah. What else?
Working with David's great. I haven't had to do that much with him, but the stuff I have got to do with him has been really good. And it's very different to working on Doctor Who, working on Broadchurch, because it's so very, very serious. Yeah, but it's great. It's hard, but I love Chris's writing. Chris Chibnall's an amazing writer, and he's the main reason why I wanted to do that job, because we all accepted it without seeing his scripts, which was a bit mad, but really paid off. So yeah, it was difficult in the best possible way, but David was really great to work with.
Yeah, I can second that about David as well. I haven't worked with him. He's a cool cat. Ian's amazing. He's a good friend now, actually, and we had a wonderful time on that job. It was a really process, and it's in Ryan. You guys have really got someone to be proud of. He's a real dude. So, go Canada. Ian's cool, brave, takes risks. He's a pop actor. Yeah.
Alright, we got Corbin with me on this side.
Outside of science fiction, what would your favorite superhero or supervillain be?
Batman. 100%, and the Joker. There he is, right there. Hi. Hey. Cool dress.
Go for it, buddy.
I don't either. I was moving through the crowd, but there's someone right here. Spontaneous, go for it.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Hi.
Right up front.
Hi. My question is, both of you have a lot of scenes with the character Amy. What's your favorite scene with your character and Amy together?
Mine's really odd. Okay, I like the scene where we woke up on the tessellator and we were being chased by jellyfish. It just was a really funny scene. Just the two of us are really.
That was a good
fun scene.
You had a lot of amazing stuff that you and Karen. That relationship became so good.
Yeah, I mean all the stuff, all the girls who waited. The girl who waited was just amazing. I thought Karen was amazing as well.
Yeah, oh god. I mean, Karen's, from another planet in the same anyways, like she's brilliant. But the three of us, God, do you know what was actually a cool scene, looking back, was that stuff in the park in the 11th hour, and we meet, and there's a 3-shot of us going, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we just, but we ran out of time, so we shot it just as a
it was raining.
Yeah, and that was really cool.
Ellen?
I'm down on the left here, just under the bar. Can you see me? Hello? Hello? Do you want to stand up? This is Dahlia. She's dressed as Amelia Pond, and she looks a lot like Amelia Pond.
We met earlier too, yeah. It's a good Amelia Pond one.
And this is her 11th birthday. It's her big 11th birthday trip, and she has a question.
Is it your birthday today?
I was wondering if you could sing me happy birthday.
Daria, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daria. Happy birthday to you. It is, honestly, 12 is when the world explodes.
Alright, we got Izzy with me.
Oh yeah, gangster doctor.
Oh, look at that.
Alright.
Number one, thanks a lot for making me miss Into the Dalek, and how did it feel to put on old makeup in the last episode, Time of the Doctor?
Good question, my man. It felt cool, it looked really cool. It takes like 5 hours, so I'd have to wake up at like 3:30, and then you're in the chair at like 4:30, and you do makeup till like 8, and then you shoot all day, so it's really tiring. But they glue it to it. It takes time. You've had it. That was funny.
There's something about looking in the mirror and seeing not your face.
And I was trying to chase time and I'm like this.
It made me speak a bit like a mechanic, I felt.
Yeah,
having an old fetish.
Yeah, it was cool though, man. It was it's good fun. I love all that makeup stuff.
It is just odd looking in the mirror and you seeing someone else's face.
God.
Alright, I've got Eric with me. He's got a great question.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. My group, and I'm sure the whole rest of the con here is wondering, what's your favorite dance move? And no, the giraffe thing you do does not count. It's not display.
Me and Arthur can show you some classic lunging.
We were dancing on stage with Arthur Fire last night, if you know, we put some serious moves into
Yeah. Arthur, show them the lunge. Arthur's got the most amazing
I'm
lunge.
in very tight jeans, I'm not sure.
Mine is as good. On 3. A 1, a 2, a 3. Yeah, that's a classic lunge.
I've developed the spaghetti arms recently.
Spaghetti arms. Yeah, I don't know. I just think the way to dance is like an idiot.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you actually get away with being a good dancer, unless you're actually a good dancer, which I'm not.
No.
So I just dance like a moron. Yeah. Ah, the dress up. No, you've got some moves. It's cool. Yeah.
I'm on the left here with Courtney. Hey, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
Hello. Hi, I love you both. Okay. If you got control to pen an episode without Amy, what kind of adventure would Rory and the Doctor run off and take care of?
Good question. Pen it down. Okay. Doctor wakes up, picks up Rory Pond, says, Rory, we've got a problem. Amy's trapped. She's lost all her hair. We've got to find her.
It turns out her hair has run away and set up an underground hair syndicate.
Yeah. And all
that is
across...
spawning ginger hair on heads around the world.
Yeah, and all across Britain, the hair salons are opening of their own accord. And everything's made of this ginger possessed hair, so the doctor has to go. He has to find a huge pair of scissors, and he has to do that on a different planet called Planet of the Obtuse Lights. At which point, Rory finds...
Don't know really well with this one.
At which point, Rory finds a man named Clive who has a huge pair of scissors,
and it's got scissors from mouth, and he eats.
And Clive has to come and eat all the hair in all of the shops around the country.
And Clive ends up full and sad because he eats too much hair.
Yeah, and then he turns into a cat. He coughs up all the hairballs, and then actually...
He rides the cat to find Amy. She's got her hair.
And then the Doctor and Rory sit down, they drink tea, they eat cake, they stroke the cat, and then they realise that the cat has all along been Amy Pond. And they find Harry Potter and get him to turn it back into a cat. Rory dies, obviously. 6 times, he's strangled by the hair, he's fixated by the hair, he eats the hair and it explodes on the inside. All the time the Doctor's like, oh yeah, see you in a few hours. Yeah. Forgot about Rory dying, good point. It's not an episode of Doctor Who without Rory dying, is it?
All right, we got Reagan with me. Reagan, right? All the way here on the right side.
You're very tall. All right.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question for Matt is, if you had another catchphrase, what would it be? And my question for Arthur is, if you were the Doctor, how would you play him?
My catchphrase would be one back so groovy. As for you,
I would not want to play the Doctor. Because I think it's already been done how I want to see it. You're very charming, and I am respectable and so
We're left at the very, and this is Anthony.
Hey.
Hey, this question comes from that is wearing similar boots, or maybe even the same boots he wore as the Doctor. So I was wondering, did you guys take any of the clothes you wore on set? Because you guys wore some amazing outfits.
yeah, I've got every costume and pretty much every pair of boots. These aren't actually them, but
Is it nice boots?
yeah, these are cool boots. These were actually bought by the costume designer Howard as the Doctor when I got the purple outfit. And he got these new boots and was like, do you want these? I was like, no, I want to keep my old boots because they're more agile and these are a bit clunky. So I just started wearing these in my life. But I got the costumes and the jackets and they're really cool. But you realise I'm never going to be able to wear them. What am I going to do? Wear them at a party? Hi, I've come as the Olympic Doctor. Yeah, no, like, yeah.
Sorry. I only wear a gilet at home. No, I didn't take any of the costumes.
Not a checkered shirt.
Not a checkered shirt sight.
Or
no.
a pair of shorts.
No. No, I haven't even got a Roman outfit. We did steal things at the end. I got bits of the set. Bits of targets. Yeah.
All right, we've got time for just one more question from the crowd, then we're going to go back up on stage. So here's Felicia with me, right here on the right.
Hi.
My question is, Matt, what's your favorite Rory memory? And for Arthur, what's your favorite Doctor memory?
The character or the actor?
Oh, the character or the actor?
Your favorite character moment.
Okay.
It was a bit, we got together.
Go on.
I just liked it when you poked me.
Yes. When I came back in.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was in, what was it, Polar Ropings. And yeah, and I came back in, and we walk out, and then I come back in, I'm like, and you're like, oh, hello. And I was almost poking you or hitting you in the face. That's my favourite thing with us. We'd like do a scene, and then I'd go, oh, I'm running out of acting ideas. Smack!
You just have to pretend that it doesn't happen.
You loved it. You loved it, Doctor.
Yeah, I like it. That's one of them. I just really enjoyed it.
I share the same one actually. That was called either that or the 11th hour when I punched you in the head.
Yeah.
All right, we do have the wrap, but we know that there's something special that you wanted to give away. So how do you want to handle that?
I don't know. Let's do. Where is it? It's not that special. Why don't we go? Let's answer a question. Okay, what is the capital of Sweden?
Oslo.
Sweden.
Oslo.
Why don't I just throw it in and see who's strongest?
You're going to start a riot.
Yeah.
Why don't you get into a line from worst to best?
Oh, God. Do you know what? Hey, I've got it. It's your birthday, Daria. It's all for you. Yeah, you were cool. There you are, dude.
Before we wrap it up, at an event like this, your fans say so much to you and ask you so much. What do you like to say to your fans?
Oh, yeah. This is always really humbling and it never... Was that a dog?
Someone's consuming a small animal.
It's always really nice to... It's always a surprise how much you guys care.
Yeah, and because I'm not on Twitter and stuff, so for those of you that are on Twitter, and for anyone that's been to other conventions, I just want to say, because if I was on Twitter, I always think I'd say, thanks for queuing up for so long and paying. And it's a lot of money to come to these things, and you pay a lot of money. It's, thanks for that, really, because it takes, travel a lot of money and pay a lot, and these things are cool, so that's what I would say. Yeah.